and thanks for checking out the Indiana Dairy YouTube channel. I'm Sam, a dietetic intern here at the organization, and today I'm going to show you a super simple homemade bagel recipe that uses ingredients you probably already have in your kitchen right now. So to start, we're going to take 1 cup of whole wheat flour and mix that with 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And let me get a tool here to make sure I get it all. And once you have that in a bowl, you're going to use a fork or a whisk, whatever you have, and just make sure it's well combined. Before I go any further, I would like to show you how versatile this recipe can be. So I used whole wheat flour because that's what I had on hand, but that doesn't have to be what you use. If you have white flour at home, use a cup of that instead of a cup of the whole wheat flour. I will say though that if you use the white flour, you may have to add a little bit more than a cup to get it to the right consistency because white flour is a little less dense than wheat flour. Or if you're looking to make this recipe even easier than it already is, you can replace the flour, the baking powder, and the salt with self-rising flour. Again, start with 1 cup to replace the other 3 ingredients, but you may need to add a little more depending on the consistency of the dough. But whatever option you choose, once you have that measured out, you're then going to take 1 cup of Greek yogurt and add it to the dry mixture. It's really important here that you get Greek yogurt instead of Greek style yogurt or just a plain yogurt, because in order to make a bagel dough for this recipe, we really don't want there to be a lot of moisture in the yogurt that you're using. So here, yogurt type is pretty important. Once you have that in the bowl, we're going to mix it together until a dough starts to form. Once you've mixed and you have a dough that doesn't stick to the sides of the bowl anymore, you're going to transfer it to a pastry mat, or I'm just using a cutting board that's lightly dusted with flour, and we're going to knead it for another 1 to 3 minutes. This is also a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Once you have a dough formed, you're going to ball it up and then use a butter knife to cut it into 4 equal pieces. And at this point, it's time to start getting creative. So I've chosen to do 2 different types of homemade bagels today. The first is going to be blueberry, and the second is going to use the everything but the bagel seasoning. So for the blueberry bagels, I'm going to mix in some fresh blueberries that I washed a few minutes ago. So to do that, I'm going to gently start to fold them into the dough. The number of blueberries you put is up to you, but you just want to do this carefully because if you start mashing the dough in your hands, you're going to have more blueberry juice than anything else. I measured out about a 1/4 cup of blueberries, but again, all up to your preferences. So once you have the blueberries or whatever you decide to mix in, I think cinnamon raisin could also be a really, really tasty one to try. Once you have the berries mixed in, you're going to take the dough and you're going to roll it out into a long cylinder. Again, the berries may make this a little tougher than the other one I plan on doing, but I think it'll be worth it. So, once you have it rolled out, you're going to then form the dough into the traditional circular shape of a bagel that we all know and love. If your bagel is looking a little too small for you, you can try to roll the dough out a little bit more to make it a little bit longer, and then just link it back up. So this one's going to be blueberry as well. But for this other one that I have over here that I didn't put the berries in, that's what I plan on using the everything but the bagel seasoning for. Now that I have my 4 bagels rolled out, I want to show you one last optional step that you can do before you pop them in the oven. So over here, I have just one egg that I've scrambled, and this is just a basting brush. So if you'd like, you can dip the brush in the egg and then just do a quick egg wash on the top of the bagels. Again, this is optional, but I like to do it because it makes the bagels look a little more golden brown on the top, and when I put on this everything but the bagel seasoning, it'll help it stick a little better. So again, totally optional, but if you have an egg and you have a brush, I'd recommend it. So once the egg wash is on there, I'm going to take my everything but the bagel seasoning and sprinkle it on my 2 bagels that I did not put blueberries in. Just like this. If your oven is preheated, and mine is, you're just going to pop it in, and you're going to let these bagels cook at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Before I sink my teeth into one of these bagels, I wanted to show you how they came out. I just love this recipe because it's super simple to make. It uses ingredients that you may already have in your kitchen, and because it uses Greek yogurt, you're going to get all these great benefits of dairy in a bagel, which you probably wouldn't get if you bought it at the store. So we're talking calcium and phosphorus and of course protein, all wrapped up in a bagel that tastes really, really good. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, and let's not waste any more time. Go eat your bagel.